أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
بعد ما اعمل اول قال له including انستغرام.
The door is open. Very close. Yeah, human. Okay.
الفاتحة. بسم الله الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام والتحية الإكرام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا حبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة وهو الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو ملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون. هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى سبح له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. صدق الله العلي العظيم صدق الله الرسول الكريم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We thank Allah through from our heart that He allowed us this opportunity to come here at the most important day, the prayer of Friday. Friday is most important, and it is very, very highly recommended by Nabi Muhammad and his Ahl Bayt that you make the effort to come. What I read was the ayahs from Surah Al-Hashr, Surah number 59, ayah number 22, 23, 24. In this ayah, in these three verses, Allah has used His Asma al-Husna 14 times. The whole universe is covered in Asma al-Husna. You want to know Allah? Then you learn Asma al-Husna. The whole world, the whole universe is in the Asma al-Husna. There is nothing smallest, biggest, yesterday, today, tomorrow, ever. The smallest or the biggest, Saghir or Kabir, up or down, anywhere. It's all covered in Asma al-Husna. When He says, Ana Rabbul Alameen, there is nothing. Amal, Momin, Muhaimin, Aziz, Al-Jabbar, on and on and on and on. You call me any name, it's a direct call. You have cell phone, direct dial. Speed dialing, you have speed dialing. We all have speed dialing. 99 names are the speed dial. But you have to be sincere about it. What are you calling him for? So, with these three ayahs, I like to move on to Surah Baqarah, ayah number 144. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Atamuruna an-nas bil birr wa tansawna anfusakum wa antum tatluna al-kitab afala taqilun. I tell you, Quran is such an amazing source of learning. There is nothing compares to Quran. Every Muslim should believe in that. Don't put anything above Quran. No one other than the Masumeen to whom Allah says, these are the Rasikhuna fil ilm. Go to them. You have the faculty, go to Rasikhuna. Find them. Find them, you will find, but if you are content with whatever you're getting, well, that's how you're going to stop. It's the struggle. In one of the hadiths, I don't want to go into the detail, Dawood alayhi salam was told that he was given the wahi, oh Dawood, I have hidden three things into three things. I'll just go into one. He says, I have put three things into three other things. People look for these three things in the wrong place and then complain to me. We cannot find it. We cannot find it. We want to go to Kaaba, but when you get to Kaaba, you don't know what you're doing there. So, the very first, I'm going to share only one here. He says, they look for ilm in the wrong place. This is wahi to Dawood alayhi salam, very reliable sources. That I have put ilm in two things. Wal-jud wa-jahd. Wal-ju' wa-jahad. Hunger and struggle. And I want things to come to me in my cell phone, in my laptop. Why do I have to go there, Ya Allah? Why do I have to? He says you have to do two things. This is wahi. You have to do two things. Wal-ju' wa-jahad. Hunger for what? Hunger for ilm, hunger for akhirah, hunger for raising your status. Coming back to this ayah, ta'muruna an-nas bil birr wa tansawna anfusakum wa antum tatluna al-kitab afala taqilun. Islam calls people to birr. Birr is Asma al-Husna. And when you go to Asma al-Husna, you cannot define it only either Allah through Quran or Masumeen. You cannot. Islam can be only understood through Quran, and the Muhammad is Ahlul Bayt. There is no other way. There is no other way, to me at least. They are the purest. They are the cleanest. They are, Allah has put a stamp. Go to them. He says, you cannot come to me without Muhammad and the Quran, without Ahlul Bayt and the Quran. But what is it that we need to learn? So, one lesson is here. Explaining this ayah, Allah is telling Atamuruna an-nas bil birr. When you say nas, is anybody excluded? No, right? He is not saying Muslim, Shia, Pakistani, Indian, American. No. Sunni, no. Abadi, no. Nas. Every human being has been told Atamuruna an-nas bil birr. If you do goodness, make sure you act on it first. Your action has to be the first birr, first step in the birr. First step, that you need to cleanse yourself, tazkiyah nafs. Begin there continuously. He's watching you. You think he's not watching my inside? He knows me better than I know myself. Is that true or not? He knows me better than he knows what's inside of me. And according to that, he's going to send me here. Look at the life of Rasulullah. How many people were there around him? Sahabi. What's the definition of a Sahabi? And this is very interesting conversation took place between a well-known Shia scholar and Sunni scholars. And this is a very, very, very knowledgeable. Shia scholar. I learned from him a great deal. His name is Sheikh Sayyid Bahamanpur. He's the head of the Hausa in London. When he talks from Quran and he talks about authentic hadith. So, there are a lot of people around Rasulullah who will qualify as a Sahabi. One who saw him once, one who talked to him once, one who heard about him, or one who was there in his house from birth all the way to the death. Ali ibn Abi Talib. There is nobody there. And you repeatedly, Quran keeps on saying, I can worry about other people, but if you cannot help, it's an amana from Allah. He says, I honored you to make you a human being. I could make you a bird, a tree, a stone, but I made you. I am Bani Adam, all of you are Bani Adam. That's the honor to begin with. To earn that honor, you have to go to taqwa. Inna akramakallahu indallah atqakum. Allah says, I have created you with taqwa. Nothing else. So now, the first thing that I need to understand that before I can preach to all of you, or anybody else for that matter, have I learned the lesson from what I'm talking to you about? Have I understood? Am I going to act on it? That's the very first. Ta'muruna an-nas bil bir wa tansawna anfusakum. You tell everybody and you forget yourself. There is a deeper meaning. I tell you to pray, but I don't pray. I tell you to read Quran. I don't read. Then go to the right sources. And that's the jihad. That's the ilm. Wal-juh wa-jahad. You have to do struggle to get the ilm. It is essential to create a built-in discipline through reason. And then as a model, advise others to do good. Once you become a role model, Allah will automatically send you people. You don't have to run after people. You don't have to run after anybody. But if you become, even if they send you one person, it'll be worthwhile. If you look at the true followers at the end of the Ahlul Bayt, were very few, because they were all involved in the world. Oh, they had some knowledge, a little knowledge here, little knowledge there. But their knowledge was not coming from the sources that Allah has made, the channel Allah has made. Look for them. So, anything we do, Quran tells us that understand it, reflect on it, act on it. How many times do I say, Rabbi zidni ilm? What does it mean? It's a word I utter. Why do I have to come here? That's jihad. Wherever the ilm is, go look for, Imam Ali said that. Look for haqq. Look for haqq, you'll find me there. But if you keep on saying Ali, 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 Ali is not going to come to you. Okay. Salawatu ala Muhammad ala Muhammad. This is the ayah from Surah Al-Baqarah. There is an ayah in Surah Ma'idah, number 5. Quran talks to you. What is it that Quran doesn't have? And I reflect on myself. I was born in a Pakistani Indian family, so mother tongue is Urdu. Arabic is not natural to me. But I will have to make the effort. I cannot live by that just because, I have to make that effort. I have to make it. Qur'anan Arabiya, Lisanan Arabiya, Hukman Arabiya. These are the words of the Quran. We have to, even if you take one word, it'll open up seats for you. But you have to be sincere. In Ma'idah, Surah number 5, ayah number 2, وَتَعَانُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. Now, bir is first he's saying that you invite people to bir. Now he's saying you cooperate with each other with bir or taqwa. Not on the basis of ethnicity, that you're an Arab, you're Lebanese, I'm Pakistani, you're this, you're this. No. You're Bani Adam. Allah called you Bani Adam. He says, I honor, it's our. وَتَعَانُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَانُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. If you're going to cooperate with somebody, most difficult people Rasul dealt with what? Birr wa taqwa. Look at Rasul's life, Imam Ali's life. The forgiveness level of Rasulullah, even that African slave who killed Hamza rahmatullah alayh in Uhud, he forgave him. After the victory, he went there in Makkah. He was there. He was afraid that Rasul will take revenge from him. Rasul said, tell him. He passed by him. He says, I forgive you, but don't show me your face again. Your punishment is, I don't want to see you again. That was Rasulullah's forgiveness. So we need to understand where our Islam is going day by day, hour by hour, where our actions are taking us. End will come. And nobody knows when and where you will die, when and where. How you die is up to you. You want to take a explosive and die, that's your choice. Time of death is written in the Quran for everyone. We don't know that. That's the secret. Bir, the puzzle. One seed will open 7 grain. Each 7 grain will give you 100 seeds. This is the multiplication of knowledge of Quran. And I cannot feel Allahu Akbar. Multiplication. But our mind cannot comprehend. But we can still raise that level of mind. I can raise the test. But what about his test? I don't pay attention. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ashara. Things which are mark of al-bir. If I don't understand bir, I cannot share bir with. Is it qad aflaha man zakkaha? Go on, learning is the purification, the best purification we can have. Reflection. Okay, there are 10 things which are the mark of bir, al-bir, Asma al-Husna. Number 1, alaikum salam. Be good, do this, take a shower, do wudu, read Quran. Is that all there is? What is it? It's your inside yearning, the fire inside your heart that should bring you closer to Allah. That yearning that Ahl Bayt had. If you look at Muhammad's life, he was never outside the sphere of zikr. No matter what activity he was involved, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi. Number 1, love what Allah loves. And the ayah is very clean. Ali Imran, I repeat this many a time. Kul in kuntum tuhibbun Allah fattabi'uni. Kul in kuntum tuhibbun Allah fattabi'uni. He says, you want to love me? You say, I love you, follow Muhammad. I don't know enough about Muhammad. I'm telling you very frankly. The more I read about him, the more I'm puzzled. There are so many books written. Marhum Muhammad Tabatabai rahmatullah alayh has written many books, very reliable. There are other scholars. The more you read, the more you feel that you're getting towards the true Islam. I'm living, only me I'm talking about, I'm living in almost like a fake Islam. Islam that I define. No. Islam is defined by Allah, His Rasul, Quran, and Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. That is different. That Islam is very different. Okay? So, Kun in kuntum tuhibbun Allah fattabi'uni yuhibbukum Allah. Allah will only love you if you follow Muhammad to the letter. Get up like him, sit like him, talk like him, behave like him, forgive like him. Above all, he was just far too superior to any creation of Allah. So, love Allah what Allah loves. If you don't know, then find out. I love my wife, I love my children, I love my house, I love my car, I love with all worldly things. But love of Allah comes from obedience, following in the footsteps of Muhammad. Number 2, opposite of love is stay away. Despise is what Allah despises. It's very difficult to even know what Allah doesn't like. And this is where I think education is so important to understanding. I cannot live forever and say, well, I didn't know that. Do I have to pay khums? I didn't know that. Do I have to pay zakat? I don't know that. What age do I have to go for Hajj, Umrah, whatever? What is wajib? A wajib will be asked. All of us will be asked, did you perform the wajib or not? Mustahab, you'll get the reward. But you can't be asked if you didn't do the mustahab. Wajib is a must. And that's where you're going to be asked. And the most foremost thing in the wajib is your salat. What was the quality of your salat? If you stood there for Allah, or you're thinking about, I'm thinking about traffic I have to go through now while I'm praying. Na'udhu billah. But that's because I'm not masoom, I'm weak. I have to remove that thought out of my head. Because I'm here exclusive for Allah, for nothing else. Everything should be put on hold. I can't do that. Should I do it? Yes. So, number 2, love what Allah loves, despise what Allah despises. Befriend the sake of Allah. And that's another difficult thing. Befriend for the sake of Allah. And that should be based on haqq and adl. Number 4, part ways for the sake of Allah. If you're going to separate from somebody, only for the sake of Allah. Everything fi sabilillah, and that is your ibadah. Ibadah, yes, this is the awwal ibadah, as-salat. But ibadah has actions. Ibadah is a root. From that emanates all our action. And that brings us to salat. Okay, so 5 times a day we pray, 17 rakat. And then I go back home, I feel comfortable. Iblis said, yeah, you did your job, that's fine. What about the other 7 days? I'm here, 1 week, 7 days will go by. It's not the quantity, it's the quality of what you do for Allah's sake. The littlest thing you're going to do, but free of any inhibitions of the world, you will gain benefit from it. But how to remove the dunya from it? And what lesson do we learn from Abu Abdullah Hussein in Karbala? Ya Allah, 6-month-old, thirsty, says, Ya Allah, Al-Bir, this is my test, I'll pass my test. He did not complain. He did not complain. Okay. Number 5, angered for the sake of Allah. If you're going to get angry, all the time, look at your mizan. We think that, well, salat, okay, we did for Allah. Quran, we did for Allah. Fasting, we did for Allah. But is that all there is? No. The deeper you go, the more committed you become 24/7. If not 24/7, at least 1 hour in 24 hours. When you sit with Quran, don't keep anything else in your thought. Just sit down with Quran and say, this is your rope, Ya Allah. Take me up with you. Nothing matters to me. Children, and the Quran says very clearly that on that day, the mujrim will say, take my mother, my father, my wife, my children, my brothers, everybody, take them away. Save me. Because it'll be cut off. The moment we die, the moment the announcement is made, the world is finished, all the connections will be severed. It's only what iman, what amal saleh you have done. Please, for the sake of Allah, it is difficult because Allah will test us. He says, I'm going to give you test. This life is nothing but like it. We go to school, college, we study. We study to pass the test, whatever professional course you take. You study, you have to write the exam, you pass, and you get a certificate. You get the certificate. But have you understood what Allah's tests are? He's constantly testing you. We are veering constantly to the left. He said, no, come to the right. That's where Surat al-Mustaqim is. And that's the struggle we have constantly, to come towards al-Bir. His work is dedicated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati. What else is left? Is salati is only 5 times a day. Salati is a connection, re-establishing 5 times a day, again and again and again and again and again. So when you stand up to pray, you're like Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. There's nothing between him and Rabb. There's nothing. Nothing will deter him. Whether he's got hurt personally, whether war is going on, battle is going on, he is with his Rabb. Nothing else. Fears such that he is fearful, but in a way of he is Ghafurur Rahim, Ghafurul Wadud. Allah has said that, look, I understand you'll make mistakes. I understand you're not masoom. I understand that you will be veering to wrong direction. But always try and come back. I'm there for you. But if you keep going, patting yourself on the back, it's not going to work. Because Iblis is taking you over, steering away more and more and more. We have to understand that. Imam Baqir alayhi salam describes 4 treasures. Okay? Concentrate on Allah's Asmaul Husna. Whatever it is, Al-Bir. Go look in the Quran how it is used. Now, Imam Baqir alayhi salam, he's saying there are Allah's treasure in 4 things. And I would like to get at least one of the 4, if not all 4. 4 will be good. 1 will be good. 2 will be better. 3 will be still better. 4 will be complete for me. He says, the treasure of bir is concealment of your needs, hajat. You are faqir of whom? Banker, business partner, lawyer, system. We are all slaves of all that. Allah said, be just mindful. Ya ayyuhan nas antum al-fuqara wallahu huwal ghaniyyul hamid. Everyone is a faqir and you have to act like a faqir. Faqir of not human society, human system, faqir of Allah. And this is one of the very good qualities of Ahl Bayt, is that in any condition they were satisfied. In any condition. Go look at the life of Khadijatul Kubra Salamul Alayha. Shub Abi Talib, 3 years of history. It's a beautiful history, Shub Abi Talib. If you don't know, go look for it. 3 years, desolate. And this Momina, this Tahira, the first and the best who accepted Islam right after Muhammad. You go into suffering, that she was so rich, and yet when she died, she did not have enough money for her coffin. This is bir. This is top of the bir. That nothing, what can we present to Allah? We don't know when we will die. When we die, what can we present to Him? Ya Allah, I have a bank account. Okay. Ya Allah, I have a credit card. Ya Allah, I have. He says, okay, it's finished. And Surah Bani Israel, he says, Allah said, I'm going to level the earth. Is this all? Yes, we can own it. Yes, we have to have a better house and a swimming. It doesn't matter. But if they own us, that's the difference. Don't let them own you. If they own you, then you're moving away from bir. Concealment of your needs, be a faqir to Allah alone. And you go read a manaja'at. You read Dua Kumail every Thursday night. I'm faqir, ya Allah. You're ghani, ya Allah. I'm faqir, you're ghani, ya Allah. Go read the dua of Imam Musa alayhi salam. Lima anzalta ilay min khayl al-faqir. He sits there hungry, thirsty, walking in the desert for days and days and days and days and days. He doesn't complain. He sits under a tree. I don't know what he ate, shrubs or no water. He's sitting there in destitute. Nabi Allah, who spoke to him, Kalim Allah. He's sitting there under the tree. He says, Ya Allah, lima anzalta ilay min khayr al-faqir. I'm faqir, Ya Allah. I'm faqir, Ya. As soon as this munajat was done, Bir opened up the door. 2 ladies he sees. The answer came immediately because of the level of iman of Musa alayhi salam. Allah is showing us an example. Do not turn from Allah for any reason. Oh, it's too small for Allah. Musa, you need grain of salt for your dough? Ask me. Don't think it's too small or too big. But learn the right thing. We ask for things that may not be suitable for us tomorrow. So it's concealment of your need. Make sure you're faqir of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Concealment of your charity. When you give something, don't announce it. Give it like Imam Ali, Imam Sajjad used to give in the middle of the night. They won't even know who was the giver. You give it in such a way, quietly, peacefully. Look for them. That's the jihad. Well, I don't know anybody, I'm sitting here. No, there are millions of people today. Seek. That seeking is your jihad that will give you reward. Writing a check is easy. I write a check, so it's easy. But trying to find like Ali ibn Abi Talib, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, is the rewards, every step you take increases. Oh, you will get a reward of writing a check, but that's very small. That's very small return. Go like Amir al-Mu'minin Abi Talib. Then you have concealment of your pain. You have pain and suffering. Look at Sabr Ayyub, Sabran Jameel. Everything Allah took away from him. Everything. His land, his cattle, his house, everything one by one, his family. And then he was afflicted with a personal pain. But he was shakir. He was sabir. He didn't go to anybody. He didn't complain to anybody except to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That means in any condition, you have to be connected with Him. And number 4, concealment of your difficulties. Talk to Allah. Talk in the middle of the night and accept what He gives you. First, you should be sure He's listening to you. Don't try to equate, well, if I don't get this, He's not listening to me. Is that the way you do it, right? I mean, that's the way I would do it. I asked Him, to do this for me, relieve this. I said, no, that's not going to happen. I want to see your level of iman. I become impatient. Then Allah says, okay, then one minus for you. The whole life is a test. Nothing but tests, one upon the other, one upon the other. I'm going to finish this part with one small story. Salawat ala Muhammad ala Muhammad. That Abdullah ibn Masud, a very reliable Sahabi Rasul, that once after Isha Salat, a man from among the prayers stood up and said, I'm very poor, I'm hungry. The Holy Prophet said, who among you will give food to this man? Ali stood up and took the poor man to his home. Now listen carefully what he does. There was food in the house, but barely enough for one person. This was Ali ibn Abi Talib. From one meal to other meal, there was just enough for one person. And that too was not sufficient. Ali ibn Abi Talib. He was true faqir of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether he got a chicken or he got hamburger, it doesn't matter whether he got steak. He ate whatever Allah gave him. So now he knew there is only enough for one person, which was kept for him in the house. Ali put out the lamp. Now look at the wisdom of Ali. Ali put out the lamp and told Fatima Zahra to bring the food. She brought the food. While the room was in the dark, he gave the food to this man. There was just enough for one man. Look at the humility of this Imam. He didn't want this man to feel bad that there's only enough food for this man. He pretended at the plate in front of him as though he was eating. They were in the dark. The man couldn't see. This is birr. This is birr of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Can it be done? At least we can wish for it. It's not doable by us, but we can wish for it. Salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad ala Muhammad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilus salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. I'd like to tell you this story. We are in the Ayyam Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayha. May Allah give us all shafat through her, because she is the mahwar. But you have to understand what she stood for. Just taking the name will get you, but acting in the way, in the manner, wishing, how to learn. At least you show the fire of learning. What was it like when she stood to pray? When the angels would look at her and say, this is the maid of Allah, the most favored, who's praying now. This is the story Imam Sadiq alayhi salam relates. One day, when they had finished Asr prayer, Rasulullah and an old Arab immigrant who was wearing worn out clothes and was barely able to walk because of his old age and weakness came by. Think of the situation. Allah is showing us every Muhammad. The Prophet asked the old man about his affair. The old man answered, Ya Rasulullah, I am starving, so feed me. I am naked, so clothe me. I am poor, so help me. Hungry? Does not have clothes. And I'm poor, help me. The Prophet said, surely I find nothing to give you yet. Look at the practicality. He's a giver, as he is Rahmatul Alameen. Yet he who guides to goodness, I don't have it, so it doesn't matter. Look for somebody. At least make the effort to fulfill the needs of this person. He tells this man, he said, look, I don't have. Yet he who guides, he's telling us, he who guides is equal to goodness, is equal to him who performs it. See how beautiful Islam is? That even if you don't do it, you send to somebody with real deep affection, that will be rewarded equally, as though you're giving it. Then he says, so go to the house. Here he said the words of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Go to the house of she who loves Allah and His Messenger, and Allah, His Messenger, love her. There is only one personality, Fatima Zahra salamun alayha. Now see how Nabi Muhammad is sending us to Fatima Zahra to learn. To learn. The one who prefers Allah over herself, I mean Fatima Zahra salamun alayha. And this is the legacy of the Ahl Bayt. Whatever needs to be done as to please Allah, they'll do it, irregardless of their hunger, thirst, whatever it takes. Tamam ala hubbihi. They give. Miskinan, yatiman, wasira. Okay, now, so Fatima's house was near to the Prophet's house. They're in the same around the Masjid al-Nabawi. He asked Bilal al-Habashi. He said, Bilal, lead this old, poor, hungry, wretched man to her house. When the old man reached the house, he cried out. Salamu alaikum, O Ahl Bayt Nabuwah. This is Imam Sadiq relating. Angels frequently visit where Jibreel, the Holy Spirit, descend to bring what the Lord of the world reveals. This is the house that we must connect with, people of the house. Ahl Bayt Nabuwah. Fatima, Salamullahi alayha, who are you? She asked, as this man goes to the door, Bilal is with him, Fatima says, who are you? The old Bedouin now says, I'm an old Arab man. I have immigrated to your father, the master of mankind from a distant place, daughter of Muhammad. I am hungry and in need of clothing. So console me, may Allah bless you. He's asking. She's in her room. When this occurred, the Prophet, Ali and Fatima had not eaten for 3 days. Allahu Akbar. Allah sent them hungry, poor. And they hadn't eaten for 3 days. They did not complain. They did not hoard themselves. And this is the Ahl Bayt, bir. They hadn't eaten for 3 days yet. Fatima gave him a tanned ram skin. Whatever she had that her father had given her, she gives it to him, which was used by Al-Hassan and Hussein as bed. Whatever was that sheet she had on her children, the two princes, used to sleep, she picks it up, gives it to them. There is absolutely no hesitation. This is bir. When Allah says to somebody real needy, we miss the boat. Because we are thinking our own analogies. We're thinking what I would lose. It's just such a discipline. As soon as something needy comes, they don't hesitate for a second. Don't hesitate for a moment, because they are bir in their heart. Then Fatima told the poor man, take this, the skin on which her children used to sleep. May Allah substitute for you by a better gift by selling it. Okay? He said, take this. I don't have money. Take this carpet, whatever it is, sell it. The old man replied, O daughter of Muhammad, I complained to you of hunger, and you give me a ram's skin. How can I eat this? Normal question. He's hungry. Take this. Now look at the wisdom of Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra, because there's no food at home. They are hungry for 3 days. If she had food, she'll give it to them, to this poor man. When Fatima heard Fatima bint Hamza ibn Muttalib, Abdul Muttalib's daughter was also named Fatima bint Hamza. They were cousins. Fatima bint Hamza had given Fatima bint Muhammad this necklace. The old man took the necklace and went to the mosque to meet the Prophet, who was sitting in the presence of his companions. The poor man went to the Prophet and said, Ya Rasulullah, your daughter Fatima bint Muhammad gave me this necklace. A problem. Now, he wants food, instead he's got a necklace. He wants clothes, he got a necklace. He wants to go back to his town, he got a necklace. The wisdom. When the Prophet heard what the man had to say, he cried and said, indeed, Allah will grant you a solution. This is always hope given. For Fatima bint Muhammad, the mistress of all women, gave you this necklace. Just by that gift you got, you are a beautiful gift you have. Meanwhile, Ammar ibn Yasar, rahmatullah alayhi, said, O Rasulullah, do I have your permission to buy this necklace? Now see how things turn. Can I buy this necklace? The Prophet answered, buy it, Ammar. Surely. Surely if all of mankind and jinn participate in buying it, Allah will not torture the fire. This is the beauty of Sayyida's necklace, because you touch the pure body of her. This is a necklace attached to her. So now Ammar said, how much do you want? Asked the old man, how much do you want? The old Bedouin said, a meal. Think of his needy faqir. Is a meal of bread and meat, maybe shawarma, maybe hamburger, a Yemeni shirt to cover my private parts, and to perform my prayers in front of my Lord, and a dinar so I can return to my family. This is all he wanted. Ammar, who had just sold his share of booty from the Battle of Khaybar, told the man, I'll give you 20 dinars, 200 dirhams, a Yemeni shirt, my horse to take you home, and your need of wheat bread and meat, whatever you want. I'll give you all that for this necklace. See how it is traveling to Khair al-Bariyah. Poor man in the masjid. The whole cycle came from Muhammad back into the masjid. This is known as Khair al-Bariyah. So now, Ammar had perfume. Ammar took it, gave the old man all the things that he wanted plus more. He took the necklace, he wrapped it up in a Ramani shirt and gave it to one of his slaves by the name of Saham. He says, this necklace, he put it into a cloth, perfumed it, who he had bought with the money and he had received for selling his share of booty. He told Saham now, his servant, he says, take this necklace and give it to the Messenger of Allah and tell him that I give him this. He's giving it to Rasulullah. When Saham had delivered the message, Prophet said, take the necklace to Fatima and give it back to her. This whole sequence is so important to understand the connection between Muhammad and Fatima and Masjid and needy and faqir, and this is a lesson for all of us. When the slave had told Fatima the message, she took it, She took the necklace and told the slave he was free. Allahu Akbar. The poor man get everything, plus more and more and more and more. And Ammar is sending his slave and says, "You are now slave of Fatima Zahra." She takes the necklace. She says, "You're free." Upon hearing Fatima bint, that go. Now Fatima, when she said this, Saham started laughing. The servant who brought him started laughing. So Fatima asked him about the reason that made him laugh. "Why are you laughing?" "I ask you to just, take this back." He answered. Now this is the answer, this is the last line. "I smile when I thought of the abundant Sarah." Saham is telling Fatima Zahra, "I smile when I thought of the abundance of goodness put in this." We don't realize this, how Allah puts the khair. It fed a hungry man, clothed a naked man, and satisfied a poor man, freed a slave, and came back to its original owner. Back to Fatima Zahra Salaamullah alayha. May Allah protect us. In the name of Fatima Zahra, I hope that all of you keep safe. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم اللهم إني أسألك بحق محمد وآل محمد عليك صل على محمد وآل محمد واجعل النور في بصري وبصيرة في ديني واليقين في قلبي والإخلاص في عملي والسلامة في نفسي والسعة في رزقي والشكر لك عبد ما أبقيتني الصلاة.